Jennifer's case is no longer cold in any sense of the word. Period. They have too much work to do, and they are on the right road.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to True Crime Unsolved. I'm Miles Reef. I'm here as always with my buddy Sean Cahill. This is the place where we tackle the stories that the TV networks won't touch. Unsolved homicides, missing persons cases, stories without an ending. Sean, what do we got today?
Today, it sounds like we have something that a TV network might touch. More on that in a second. You'll understand why I say it. We're talking to Drew Kesse, the father of Jennifer Kesse. On our channel, we've interviewed Drew and his wife Joyce about Jennifer's missing person case, which is one of the most probably notorious, infamous, however you want to put it, well-known cases of a missing person in America. She went missing in 2006. It's about to be 2026. So you do the math on that. It's a long time. But we're talking to Drew again after we covered that whole case because it seems like there's been some developments which he is kind of like not quite categorizing as breaking news, but it really sort of is. And he'll tell you more about it in our little interview that we're about to do with him. But basically, there's been some positive things in Jennifer's case that make it look like this investigation is finally on track after 2 decades. It's been with the FDLE, which is the Florida Department of Law Enforcement's cold case unit. And this summer, they did officially announce they no longer consider it cold. But seems like Drew, in a recent Facebook post, has elucidated for us a little bit of why and what that actually means. Miles, tell us more about it.
Basically, I saw the Facebook post because we're in the Find Jennifer Kesse Facebook group where Drew posted it. And, you know, kind of alarms went off for me. And then we started getting a lot of messages from you guys. People were DMing us. People were saying, hey, did you guys see this? So we, jumped on it and immediately reached out to Drew and we're like, hey, we want to update our audience on what you posted. Is it possible if you could give us a little time and talk? And Drew, to his credit, has been doing tons of press over the last couple of days because of this and was immediately like, absolutely. So he wanted to make sure that our audience got the right information and that he was able to speak directly to you guys. I think Sean covered most of it. We can put up the actual original post that has Drew's words in it, but it sounds like they're in a very good mood because they've been spoken to by the investigators and there's momentum. That's what it sounds like. And there's a couple of really specific things in here too. One of which I guess we should mention up top. We are thrilled at the news, yet guarded, as we have been here many times before. However, this seems different. With this renewed focus, we were also informed that there was DNA found within evidence that was never tested. Again, huge for the investigation. Hopefully that will lead to more factual information leading to Jennifer. So I guess what that means, and we'll find out when we take a look at this conversation with Drew, is that there were objects or elements or something within either Jennifer's apartment or the car or somewhere else that we don't know about that hadn't been tested, which could be huge.
Well, it was one of the biggest missing pieces of information in this case all along. I mean, that's something we talked about on our case breakdown, as well as I think our suspect breakdown video where we went over some of the suspects. I mean, DNA evidence was already a thing by 2006, but it's way further along today. I mean, like light years ahead of where it was back then. And so having that is amazing. I mean, it will allow them now to go back through a lot of people that they've already been looking at. If they don't already have those people's DNA, to collect it. If those people are already in CODIS, right, the system that collects felons' DNAs, they can compare it to that. So this is big.
One other thing that I really want you guys to hang on and watch this, because there is some more detail that Drew gave us about the possible use of AI within the investigation and how that's actually going to work. And I know that's something that we touched on early on in our case breakdown because Sean and I had read about that and there had been chatter about this for a while. But Drew actually gives us a much more detailed breakdown of how that's actually going to work and what's happening with it. It's really fascinating.
Absolutely. So stay tuned for that and more. Let's go take a look at our brief but very impactful and meaningful interview with Drew Kesse.
Why don't we just start from where you guys are, and why don't you just tell us and tell the audience what's actually happening?
Sure. 2 days ago at, time zone I'm in just around 3 or 4 o'clock, all of a sudden the phone blew up, the internet blew up. It was just going crazy. And I'm like, well, what the heck? And I actually had some media people that hadn't reached out to me in 19 years reach out. And they wanted to do interviews and what have you. And I said, no, there's nothing, nothing really new is going on. And they're like, well, yeah, you just posted what's new. And what I realized is we had a post literally at the same time, almost at the same time, that I was getting ready to post an update because I had gone on social media and I realized I had not written an update since May 20th, Jennifer's birthday. And I'm like, well, that's bad. I usually do it at least every three months or so. So I said, let's write an update. Little did I realize that the update would include the conversation we had with FDLE. I had never updated that conversation on social media. So a conversation, and they had done media in July for what we're about to talk about. It's been out there, but I just never did it on our social media. And I should have known better because that's where people go, really, is to our social media. So as soon as it was posted, that blew up. However, at the same time I was posting my letter, and I literally mean the same minute, someone posted a comment on Instagram of Jennifer's that FBI was about to arrest someone in South America through DNA and extradite them back to Florida to FDLE today, Friday. We're blown away. I've never heard it, and I should have heard it if that was going to happen. So I got with our people, and they're like, oh, we're sorry, Drew. It's just erroneous. It's just not true. So it's not the first time. This happens every once in a while where someone really posts something serious and it's not true. We just want people to understand that that post is not true if you saw it on Instagram, and a lot of people have. It's just not true. Whoever that person is, I wish I can get to them. I probably could, but I'm just not going to go on social media. We'll let our people handle it. But my advice would be that if you didn't see a post from myself or our family or FDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, directly, I really wouldn't give it much thought. You can read it, you can think about it, but nothing's ever been real that has come from outside sources that we don't know. And if something like that were to happen, we would get with you. We truly would get with you. Just to let you know something was happening, because 19 years of being along for the ride with us, we owe it to you. We've been begging you to help us all these years, so we're going to keep you informed. So when they hit, it was really crazy. I had people calling me. I didn't know what they were asking for. I didn't know what update they were looking for.
Because you hadn't seen this post.
Yeah. And then I saw the post and I'm like, oh my God. So I had to explain it all, but we posted an update. And basically, if I may go into that update.
Please. Yeah.
Basically, in July, Joyce and I sat down with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, our team that they have up there, special agents. And we really spent most of the day with them going over everything that they've done in the 2 years at that point that they had the case. And we were amazed. It really amazed. So a few things that came out of that. Number one, Jennifer's case is no longer cold in any sense of the word, period. They have too much work to do, and they are on the right road.
Right. It's hot again. And that's what they said in July, I think. That was literally their statement. We are no longer a cold case, right?
Yeah. And I've done interviews on this, but again, I didn't update our social media, and my fault.
So it feels like news because you finally wrote about it, right?
Yeah. So here we are today. Secondly, all the DNA and all the evidence has been put back through for reexamination. And, I shouldn't talk about this. They tell me not to talk about it, but it seems as though maybe a couple pieces of DNA are new to the investigation. They have never been actually tested. Don't know that for sure, but it seems that way. That would be big if that ever turned out to be that. Who knows where that could lead to? But I'm just not sure on that at this point. And then thirdly, basically through the 2.5 years that they've been doing their investigation, they have whittled the list down to persons of interest to what they call a few. That's big to us. I could sit here and tell 12 stories of somebody who should probably be arrested in my eyes, But if we're looking maybe 3 to 6 people that they're looking at now, they're doing great.
I mean, that's a big deal. If you think back to, 19 years ago when all we have are these blurry images of this person behind a fence post
Right.
down to 3 to 6 people, maybe. I mean, that's a
Correct.
big
Right.
narrowing down, right?
Right.
Yeah, and as you say, the person behind the fence post. Another thing that we learned is that they have made a connection and are fully engaged with a very reputable AI company now.
Oh,
That they have taken on Jennifer's case. So, we're going to be able to take everything that's out there in the world on the internet and take her files, put them all together into an app, and then take the videos and the pictures that we have. And if we can identify the person that walks around that pool gate, this is over.
Right. Right.
yeah.
No, that's
I,
amazing because we read about that over the summer about the possibility of using AI, and
yeah,
we talked about it, I think, in one of the updates that we put up about Jennifer's case. That's amazing. And
I
so
think
it's really interesting how they're doing it, because I was thinking they were just going to take the photographs and try to fill in the blanks, but it's a lot more intricate than that.
yeah, they're gonna take everything that's available, which that's how AI works best, is when it has all the data available. So if it can just collect everything that's ever been written, everything, it's out there, right?
Yeah.
Pull it into a data center and go to work.
Right.
My biggest thing, and I've been talking to them almost 2 years on. I've been reading about AI from when it first started hitting, the news lines. And my biggest thing is, I truly believe that if we can clarify the picture of the person walking by the fence, just that person's ear, an ear is as good as a fingerprint today,
Right.
or eyes. All right, it's all individual, and that's a very good chance. I mean, if we can get an ear out of that, we can find that person,
Wow.
and
Right.
that person should be worried. If you're looking and listening, you should be worried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things happening on that end, but mostly, when we sat with them, they're very upbeat. We've never seen that at a police before at all.
Yeah.
And they're saying it's going very fast right now. Things are falling in line. So what Joyce and I get out of it is, obviously they've been able to throw a lot of people out, say, no, it's not that person, it's not that person, not that person, because they've literally talked to over 300 people. We get a call or a text or an email every time they go to somebody we know. Oh, your detectives were just here. So we know what they're doing. Uh,
Right.
and
Can I ask you, and this might be too much information, or you might not even know, but when they are doing these door knocks or interviews, are they taking swabs if people will give them and like putting them up against the DNA that they already have?
it is my understanding. Well, they took ours again after 19 years when we met in July.
Interesting.
Um,
Okay.
it is my understanding that they're getting anything that they need and ask for.
Okay.
Okay,
Wow.
so that's huge too in itself. If we can, and it's really crazy because even our special agents, they came on, they were telling us every single person we call, it's okay. How fast? How soon? Where do you want to meet? What can we do?
Right. People probably want to be cleared, I think, that have nothing to do with this after all
Well,
this.
a lot of people are. I mean, believe it or not, Jennifer's sorority sisters, who she spent almost her entire life with at that age and time and where she was, they were never interviewed ever.
Wow.
It's odd.
That's hard to
They
believe.
got done.
Right.
Wow.
It took 3 years for them to sit us down and take formal statements.
I'm a little at a loss for words there, Drew. That's
Well, that's the beginning, and that's a whole other bowl of wax with what we went through.
Right.
But this is where we are. So, as we've always said over the years, if anyone could truly just investigate the case, it's there. It's there. And it's proving itself that it is there. So they have great hope. We can hear it and see it in them. And we have great hope. Now, we're not at Jennifer. It's probably going to take years still, but it's all falling in place. And nothing has been refused at FDLE. Anything that they asked for has been given to them. We know that the commissioner of FDLE is on board. I've gone with emails and texts with him myself. We know that the state prosecutor is on board. The attorney general is on board. Anything that we need. In fact, they say, if something is refused, please get with us.
wow.
Okay, so Jennifer's getting her due, that's all we have asked for anyone who's really missing.
Yeah.
Okay. And it just seems as though one of two things are going to happen. Truly going to find Jennifer, the person, the individual that can lead us to where she is at this day. Or we're going to run every single one of those 1,400 to 2,000 leads that they're working on. And it's going to come back and say, hey, Drew and Joyce, we did our best. We ran every single thing in every which way, which we know they're doing. And then at least we could have the peace to say, wow, Jennifer is really just gone.
Right.
Okay. But until I don't think we'll get there. I don't think that's going to be the outcome, but we have to be prepared for that.
Right.
But I think everything possible, I can't ask for more right now. I've been bitching for 17 years until FDLE got it, and I even still bitched at them until they got, rolling. I have not one thing to bitch about right now because they're thinking of things that we couldn't even think of. And
Wow.
that's what we needed. So,
This is amazing. I honestly, I know there isn't necessarily like a hard update of
right.
this thing was discovered or this person was connected, but this does explain why Jennifer Spears has been able to talk to us.
Yeah,
The the first time we got on the phone with her, she was so enthusiastic and
Yeah.
she was inviting us to events and all kinds of things. And then it just kind of the tone changed. I would say, Sean, like August or something, we just started having trouble even
Yeah,
getting
and
her.
it wasn't a negative tone change. It was just
No,
more neutral. It went from you could tell something was going on basically, because we talk to so much law enforcement doing what we do that you can tell when it's like, oh yeah, I'm happy to talk. I'm super open. Like this is a great time to something is happening and they're like just mum.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so
Yeah,
we
she like went
always
into a different kind of mode
we always felt
of
like it was a good thing.
communication.
I really got the sense because again, we had such a nice chat with her and we actually had a couple chats with her and they were all so great that we knew it wasn't that, like nobody did anything wrong. No, there was no toes stepped on. It was just like
Yeah.
something's going on over there and they can't talk to us right now,
Yeah.
and that turned out to be exactly it, I think.
Yeah, and I think I'm asking the questions that you guys probably would, and I'm
Yeah.
Right.
just saying
Right.
I'm getting, that
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
speak, which is
Well,
in my eyes is very good too. When they
yeah.
start talking like, cool,
Yeah.
great, keep
Yeah.
going, and we're staying out of it. We've been such a pain in the ass to law enforcement over the years. It's just incredible, as they needed to be. Um, it, right now, we can literally sit back and know that they're doing what they're supposed to be. The comfort in our hearts just to know that someone's doing what they should be doing.
Yeah. Well, because right from the get-go, I mean, the first time you had contact, they were telling you she'll turn up. I mean, like the same day you went down there, and I think you've been through a lot, right? In 19 years of ups and downs. And even in your post, actually, what struck me is you said something along the lines of, we're cautiously optimistic because we feel like we've been here a couple times before, like getting close to something and it kind of goes away or doesn't turn out to be what you're hoping for. But
Right.
this time does feel a little different. I mean, I can just see it in your face talking
Yeah,
to you. It feels,
it is different.
yeah,
It,
good.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot on the table, it sounds like. I mean, you finally trust the team.
yeah,
There's new
it's
technology
huge.
being brought in, which is
Yeah.
really, really exciting.
Right.
And possible new evidence, which I feel like if they even hinted at that with you about the additional DNA, that it must exist. Because why even put that out there in any way if it wasn't a thing?
Yeah, I think they themselves want to let the public know that we're doing the right stuff right now. We're here. We're not OPD. you know, we are the real deal. And we're going to help this family as much as we possibly can and hope to get the answers. And if we can't, we're going to just use everything we have to knock everything else before we have to tell them that no, their daughter's not found. And that's all we ask. Everybody's human,
Well, what was interesting for us is when we first spoke to Agent Spears in these early conversations, talking about maybe getting an interview, I was really moved by her attitude was so positive and gung ho, where it's like, you just got handed one of the most famous cold missing persons cases in the country. You'd think it would be like, shit, here's a huge, this is one of the biggest challenges of my career. But the way she came off to me was like, no, we're going to get them. Don't worry. Like, I have no doubt that we'll get to the end of this one day. And that blew me away, honestly.
Well, her and her partner, I can say it, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I want confidence in my investigators. I
Yeah.
want confidence to say that didn't work, but we got 5 more tricks up our sleeves to get to where we need to be anyhow. And that's what they have.
Yeah.
Our lead agents, they stop at nothing right now. And it's,
So impressive. Yeah. That's exactly what you want to hear,
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, look, Drew, I know you're saying it's not truly an update, but your energy is like, I feel like something's cooking, and I'm really, really excited for you guys.
yeah, we're excited too. And I don't know any, I'm not saying we're on the verge of fighting. I want people to know that. But for this family, this is all good stuff. This is all what we've been waiting to hear because it's on the way. I'm a salesman all my life, and you hear the no, the no, the no, the no. That brushes off me because I'm looking for the yes.
Yeah.
And it may take me 10 million no's, but I'm going to get to a yes. So that's why we keep going. That's just in me.
I mean, just to see you guys imbued with some hope is like, it's amazing. I feel like electric, just knowing that you guys at least feel like something's being done right and looked at, God, what a relief. I mean, again, like, of course, there's a long way to go and we still have much to learn, but just knowing that you're actually on the right track after all these years,
Yeah.
it makes me feel good to see it for you guys,
Yeah.
honestly.
And that you have confidence in the team. I mean,
Hmm.
that's so
Yeah.
huge, man.
Yeah.
Knowing all the stuff that you've been through and the steps that you've had to take, hiring private attorney, spending so much money to get the records, like everything that you guys have gone through, it's to actually have faith in the people that are taking care of the case. That's huge.
Yeah. I mean, if they came to me and said, Drew, who do you want? Who do you want? And I didn't know these people before they were assigned. I'd pick them now. I'd pick them tomorrow again. I wouldn't kick one of them off. So it's just, we're happy for what's happening. I think they're excited. And they're not backing down at anything that comes across them that, gives them a roadblock or a bump in the road. No, they just keep going. So it's good. But we want, again, we wanted people to know because they've been there the whole time. And it's important for them to know it's their community too, that they still live in, because Jennifer's not the only one still missing. There's still 3 or 4, over a decade. Just
Right.
so.
Well, Drew, if there was any specific message that you had for the people that are going to watch this, and I know a lot of people, just from the messages we're getting are going to tune in and watch this.
Mhm.
What would you want to tell everybody? Like, what should they be doing right now, if anything, or
Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard to look back, but if you lived in the area 19 and a half years ago and you were young, you were old, whatever it is, and you lived it with us and you just know just anything weird, it doesn't matter. I mean, our agents take psychics. It doesn't matter what comes in. It will be looked at. It will be evaluated. So if you said, I used to hang on that corner out there and I saw that person. Maybe if they have another picture I can look at or something, do it. Do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 20 years, folks. We're grasping at straws. This is the way people are found.
Yeah.
And it's the public who helps. All the time, it's the public who helps. So we ask and we thank you. You've been there. We hear you and we feel you for 20 years here. So we thank you for that. But, the job's not done. And we're going to keep going until the job is done, one way or the other. And we hope you're with us on that. And you have been. We appreciate it.
I love that, Drew. And I will say for everybody, Drew was one of the first people we reached out to on this project as far as cases go. His family's case, Jennifer's case, was one that we were aware of when he had the idea to do this. And Drew was one of
yeah,
our
it was
first emails.
honestly, it was like kind of part of the inspiration.
And he got back to us instantaneously, practically, and said, "Yes, I love this idea. Let's do it." So, Drew, I love that your attitude is yes to the public, yes to coming on our show even now to talk. Even though I know you've just done a ton of press and you're tired, you really are a tireless advocate for Jennifer and for all these missing people in our country. And I love that you have it in you after all these years to still just get up and keep doing this, even when you're tired.
Well, thank you. And I've always said, if we don't, who's going to do it? They can't. They can't. The missing, the abducted, the abused, the unidentified. They can't speak for themselves. So we have to. On every level, we have to. And we hope to bring as many people along as we can. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Honestly, I love the way you put that. I did have another question. It's one that I asked you earlier before we got rolling. And I don't know how much you can even talk about it, so you can tell me no if that's okay. But did you get any indication in your conversations with the FDLE of like where this search is sort of narrowing, right? Are we still talking at an international level for these people or person, or are we more localized?
I don't know for a fact. I believe we're not. I don't believe we're out of country.
Okay,
Okay. I will tell you they've been all over the country.
right.
I know they've been to many, many states, tracking people down. So they're not afraid to go outside the borders of the state of Florida, and they have been for many times. But no, that's one thing they're just not going to lead me down because they know I'm dangerous in that respect. It's just,
Keeping you at arm's length while they do their job.
well, I'm a father.
Hey,
Yeah.
me
I
too, man. I
do
get it.
not hold that back. So yeah.
Right. Well, I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't want to take up your whole day here, but thank you for doing this. Miles, is there anything else you feel like we wanted to
Not
ask?
really. I mean, Drew, if there's anything else you want to say, I mean, I would just say, thank you for jumping on with us and please give our best to Joyce. And we're here if whenever you guys want to put something out or, I mean, my hope is that within, the next year or less, we're sitting here with Jennifer Spears
Yeah.
talking about how she cracked the case. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Well, we're moving along with the docuseries. So hopefully that's, we're still on board for January.
Awesome. Yeah, I did want to ask you about that. Is that something you wanted to talk about or not so much?
No, I mean, after the post in May of Jennifer's birthday, it was just like every other year that we write and what have you. We just don't contact the media anymore. And May 20th, the world contacted us. I mean, it was like we found her. It was weird for no reason. And out of that day, basically, we had 3 or 4 production companies approach us, not even doing a show, a documentary. Every single one was, no, we want to do a documentary, which I guess after 20 years, that's the direction you go. So, started negotiating to see who we were comfortable with, and we made a decision. And we're in the middle of that now. I got to be upfront. They won't say it, but I have one directive for them: Netflix.
Yeah.
Period. Because that's the biggest audience. We've been everywhere else. It doesn't matter. And nothing's moved the meter.
Yeah.
In everything we have done, nothing has moved it. So Netflix has the largest audience in the world. We know what they do with their documentaries. What do we have to lose? Let's go. Let's do it. We may not end up there, but that is my hope. We have contacts and what have you, and we're going to see what we can do to do that. But that's, we want to bring it in a very meaningful way to television, that people understand not only what happened to Jennifer, but what has gone on since Jennifer, because it is very important. Jennifer's not the only one in this world that this has happened to. And she's not the only, she doesn't have the only family that this has happened to. This happens all around America and all around the world every day. So I think it's important for people to understand what is actually happening in their own neighborhoods, because it is happening in all neighborhoods around them, around anyone in America. And it's just something we have to be aware of, and know that happens on a very regular basis. Now, granted, we get back about 98% of people who are taken and go missing. But it's the 2% that we have an obligation in this country, as we declare in our preamble. We have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Jennifer didn't get that. Did not get it. And this family isn't getting it as a byproduct. So, we have to live up to our country's standards. And we shouldn't put up for any of this. It's my belief, at least. So, we want people to understand what goes on and what it does to families. Um, you see us all strong and everything every time we speak to you, what have you. Boy, that's about 2% of the time. Life is not good. And people should just know that this happens more than just in one family.
Yeah, that's really important, and good for you for going for the biggest possible set of eyeballs you can get with that message.
Yeah,
Good luck with it. So I look forward to seeing it on Netflix. Let us know, and hopefully, I mean, I'm sure we'll be talking again down the road, Drew. Like Miles said, hopefully with some positive developments. But we'll stay in touch about that.
great. We appreciate you guys, really. We really do. And you're
Yeah.
doing a great job. I have listened to other stories and what have you. I'm on there
Well,
often.
Well,
thank
thank you.
you.
Yeah, we're doing our
Thanks.
best, and it's because of people like you who are willing to take the chance to come on here and talk about their stories that we're able to do anything. So, yeah, we really appreciate you saying that.
Great.
Yeah, that means a lot.
Awesome. Well, Drew, we'll cut you loose.
Okay.
I hope you get some rest. And again, let's keep in touch as the hopefully good developments continue to come in for you guys.
Great.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you so much.
All
Thanks,
right.
Drew.
Talk later, Drew.
Bye. He's saying there's not really an update, but
No, that's an update.
I feel like there is an update, right?
I think maybe it's hard to see the forest through the trees, but
Mm,
seeing Drew's ebullient personality. I mean, like there's an excitement and a giddiness there that I think wasn't there the last time we talked to him. I mean, he's always a really charming, charismatic guy, and he's really fun to talk to. Even though the subject matter is obviously like the bleakest imaginable thing, there's still something about Drew that I really enjoy, even talking about that stuff. But today felt different, right? I mean, like you could see it, you could feel it. It's like he said. I mean, there's finally some confidence that things are happening after all these years. He I think sees a possible light at the end of this long tunnel that his family's been going through.
yeah. And there's reasons for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy for him.
Really, really interesting about how the AI is going to work. Because, that gives me even more confidence in it that that could possibly help. The fact that they're aggregating every single person and, story and, image, and they're going to put that all through and try to funnel that and connect it with the evidence that's there.
Yeah,
That's really, really exciting.
it is, and it really is kind of like the frontier of this kind of case, right? I mean, we didn't have these tools available until very, very, very recently. And I'd be curious to see, how much AI gets involved in other older, colder cases if this actually works.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
this could be the test case, right? Kind of like the first cases where they did, DNA work. It could
Yeah,
it
or
could
like,
be
I
pretty
remember
groundbreaking.
they caught the Golden State Killer in like 2017, and that guy had been, a rapist before he was a murderer, and crimes going back to like 1972 or something like that. I mean, really one of the most famous uncaught murderers and criminals, and they finally got him with basically 23andMe, right? And that was like a whole new thing. This could
Right.
be like that. This is another really older, famous frustrating missing persons case. And this is a new piece of technology that could crack that open. And if it does, like just imagine how many other families might start to get answers. That's really encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that really stood out to me is obviously the number of people that Drew said that they've kind of whittled it down to, like that they've honed in on a much smaller number. Uh, that's potentially, incredible news. And obviously, my mind is spinning. Who are we talking about? But we
Right.
can't. Well, obviously, even if Drew knew that, we can't talk about it. But yeah, you really got to wonder. You really got to wonder. So many theories. So many people have put so much thought into this case. So much speculation about the people that were in her life, the people that were casually there, the people that she knew well, and all these different relationships, through work and everything else that, even just walking by these workers every morning,
Yeah.
uh, you know, who are they honing in on?
Well, one thing that's interesting to me is that I kind of brought it up with Drew about like, 19 years ago, all we have is just this like image of this person behind a fence post. And it really did feel like this could be anybody in the world almost, for a long time. And it sounds like they're not at all anywhere close to that anymore. It's more like there's a couple people and we know who all of these people are. And now it's just a kind of a game of clue, right? Which one of these six people is it? Rather than like, which one of these people in a world of 6 billion people could it be? It really is down to like this. And that's incredible, right? It does make me feel much more confident that they have the tools and they have the evidence and they have the manpower to figure out which of a handful of people it could be instead of just fishing for a stranger in the, lost in the haystack of humanity, which is what this case always felt like personally. And I'm sure it felt like that for Drew for a long time too. That's huge, huge. It gives me confidence they'll get it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that, combined with our own personal experience of with Agent Spears,
Yeah.
of her being so enthusiastic to talk to us and then just sort of disappearing and ghosting us, which,
Yeah.
you know, was odd because it wasn't like you said, like we had been, we had a good relationship. We actually, all had a really good time talking to her. She was inviting us to some events, and then it was suddenly like I can't talk about it. And, that my alarm started going off then, like, wow, maybe they've got something, maybe they're making progress. So it makes sense.
Well, it was interesting because my memory of how the whole thing kind of went was we had these great personal conversations with her and she was very gung ho. But then at some point, right around the time this announcement was made, like May-ish, it became like you talk to the PIO, right? Talk to the public information officer. You got to get them to sign off. And then that from there, it went cold. No pun intended. Okay, pun a little intended. But that's how you know, right? I mean, you could tell it's like once they could get to the official channel and it's kind of getting slow walked a little bit, it's like, okay, well, there's a reason for this. It's these people are really cool and respectful, and when they want to do media, they do media. But when there's something happening, they kind of like try to keep everybody away and they don't want to blow their cover if there's something important happening. And like we kind of picked up on that and we laid off. We weren't put out by it. We kind of stopped the outreach and just put a pause on it. And here's why. I mean, here we are a couple months later, and it's all so obvious, right? Things are moving, things are happening fast, and they'd rather come and talk to everybody once this is solved because I think they feel like it's going to get solved, right?
It's pretty incredible, man. It's just what's going on with Chance and now talking to Drew. It's just really, really great to know that some of these cases might actually be bringing, finding results and bringing closure to these families.
This is a little odd for our channel, I would say, for us to only be 3 months old, not even, we'll be 3 months old in a week from now,
Right.
as far as when we started putting stuff out. And already two of our first cases have these huge developments, Chance Engelbert and potentially Jennifer Kesse. It's odd. Obviously it has nothing to do with us. It's pure coincidence, but it is interesting that we get to, we've gotten to know these people involved in these stories and care about them. And now we're following up with hearing their good news or their potentially good news. I mean, it's it's odd. I don't know what else to say, but it's just interesting. I'm along for the ride, and I'm happy for these folks.
Yeah. And I think it was really great that Drew, what he said about the people who care. I think that's a really nice message for all you guys because sometimes there's people are online speculating and they're turning things into a bit of a sport or a hobby of things can be looked at in different ways. And I think having an interest in these cases and trying to figure them out and wanting the best for the family is one thing versus, you know, turning it almost into like a sport or a hobby. And I think Drew's appreciation of the people that care and the community that's been built around this and understanding that, Jennifer's kind of become a symbol for other people who are lost and who families who need answers. It's a really, really positive message. It's great to see him in such a up mood and his energy is so great. It's really nice to see that.
It is, yeah, it is. They just deserve to feel good. So like more than anyone in so many ways of 19 years of just being put through pure hell and all the time and money and ups and downs and hopes that got up only to be let down again. I mean, it's just impossible to imagine unless you've actually been them. I don't think any of us can really truly appreciate what that family's been through. So yeah, man, even to see a little smile from anyone of the Kesse family is good for me.
Yeah.
And I know it's good for you guys too. I mean, it was great to see how many of you reached out to us about this, concerned, wanting to know more, because either you found out about Jennifer's case from our channel or you already knew and just watched more of it with us. People care. A lot of people care, and I think that that's a positive thing too.
We appreciate everyone who reached out, like Sean said, showed concern about Drew's post, and obviously wanted us to get in here and talk to Drew. Hopefully, this update with him shed some light on things. Uh, we will be posting our special Halloween episode this Friday, so it's a little bit different. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it. Let us know what you think. Obviously, you know, we try to stay within a certain format on this show, and really our mission is about these unsolved cases, but we went somewhere a little different with the Halloween episode because we felt like it would be a little bit strange to cover one of our unsolved cases, on a holiday and try to make like a holiday episode out of it. So we did something a little different. So don't, be easy on us, but tell us what you think. Okay. Because you guys are so nice to us in the comments with very, very few exceptions. And we really, really appreciate it. But yeah, let us know. Let us know. And we're always watching, as you guys know, we're in there, we're replying to you guys. So we will take we'll take the suggestions or criticism, whatever your feedback is.
Absolutely.
Just let us know what's up.
We wanted to have fun, and it didn't seem appropriate to have fun with an open case where there's like real families waiting for answers and the stakes are high. So you'll see what we did. I think we found a way to kind of like take the world of crime, have a little bit of like a holiday episode, and kept it pretty personal. I don't know. I'm excited for you guys to see it. Hopefully you like it. Happy Halloween, either way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, if you guys like what we're doing, please subscribe. There's so many people watching, and the percentage of our subscribers is so small, which I know is normal for a growing channel. But please, if you like this, please subscribe, hit that notifications bell so you know when we're coming up with new content. Every Monday, every Friday, we're posting. We appreciate everybody. We appreciate the support, helping us grow as a channel, and stick around. There's a lot more coming up.